The City Coat of Arms by Franz Kafka. At first, all the arrangements for building the Tower of Babel were characterized by fairly good order. Indeed, the order was perhaps too perfect. Too much thought was taken for guides, interpreters, accommodation for the workmen, and roads of communication, as if there were centuries before one to do the work in. In fact, the general opinion at the time was that one simply could not build too slowly. A very little insistence on this would have sufficed to make one hesitate to lay the foundations at all. People argued in this way. The essential thing in the whole business is the idea of building a tower that will reach to heaven. In comparison with that idea, everything else is secondary. The idea, once seized in its magnitude, can never vanish again. So long as there are men on the earth, there will also be the irresistible desire to complete the building. That being so, however, one need have no anxiety about the future. On the contrary, human knowledge is increasing. The art of building has made progress and will make further progress. A piece of work which takes a year may perhaps be done in half the time in another 100 years, and better done too, more enduringly. So why exert oneself to the extreme limit of one's present powers? There would be some sense in doing that only if it were likely that the tower would be completed in one generation. But that's beyond all hope. It is far more likely that the next generation, with their perfected knowledge, will find the work of their predecessors bad and tear down what has been built so as to begin anew. Such thoughts paralyzed people's powers, and so they troubled less about the tower than the construction of a city for the workmen. Every nationality wanted the finest quarters for itself, and this gave rise to disputes, which developed into bloody conflicts. These conflicts never came to an end. To the leaders, they were a new proof that in the absence of the necessary unity, the building of the tower must be done very slowly, or indeed preferably postponed until universal peace was declared. But the time was spent not only in conflict. The town was embellished in the intervals, and this, unfortunately enough, evoked fresh envy and fresh conflict. In this fashion, the age of the first generation went past, but none of the succeeding ones showed any difference, except that technical skill increased and with it occasion for conflict. To this must be added that the second or third generation had already recognized the senselessness of building a heaven-reaching tower. But by that time, everyone was too deeply involved to leave the city. All the legends and songs that came to birth in that city were filled with longing for a prophesied day when the city would be destroyed by 5 successive blows from a gigantic fist. It is for that reason, too, that the city has a closed fist on its coat of arms. The end.